Okay, hello, this is Ross here. Coming across loud and clear.
Ross is right.
Hello.
You.
Hello.
Hello.
Let me chip in.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. How's that sound?
It's right here. When you just click right here, see that little link?
Okay, back on right now. Everybody hear me pretty good? No echo? Everybody doing okay?
Yes.
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 All right. Sounds good. Well, I want to welcome everybody to this budget hearing. We're hearing from outside agencies and solid waste from our county. So, and of course, welcome. Looks like we got a good participation. So welcome. Happy to have everybody. And we will go, kind of got a list that we'll follow through. Start with the fire department first of all. But first, I want to read a disclaimer for this meeting that is because it is a virtual meeting and an electronic meeting. I think comptroller allows this, that this meeting is necessary to protect the public health, safety, and welfare in light of the COVID-19 pandemic, and this kind of covers us on any kind of legal issue with this. So let's get that out of the way. We will get started. I do want to remember one of our colleagues, David Miller, and the passing of his daughter. I don't have many details on that, but we certainly want to remember Mr. Miller and his family and keep them in our thoughts and our prayers. So if you will remember those, their family. Do we have, I think I see Travis Hill. I've got, I heard Fraser in there earlier. There's Kelly, Mark. Is Patty, is she on that end somewhere? Patty and who else? Mr. Grindstaff. As far as the budget committee, we accounted for.
Have you got Willie there with you?
Yeah, Willie's here with me, and I got Brad Rita sitting in here, and got a couple of gentlemen from Jennifer, and name slips my mind right now, but we're going to start with them first, as a matter of fact. Mike, you'll be, what is that? Is that soil, or is it soil conservation? If you will, sit down on your list. That is 101-579-309. And soil conservation, we've got Mike Nottifers here talking to us right now. Is this okay here? Yeah, you'll be fine. Just have to, as long as you speak up.
We are basically asking for the same amount that we asked for last year. These are some of the projects that we have done. Well, if you want to pass that down, that's the project that we just recently. This is the EWP projects that Jason has looked at, but has not been.
Ross, can you mute everybody while he's talking? We can't. I can't.
I think Brad's muted. I should be the only one really that has.
No, I think you unmuted us when you were checking, or somebody did.
I think people are moving their phones and stuff that's back feeding through the system.
All right, one second. We'll try to straighten that out. Yeah, in the meantime, I will show he had some projects I think he was working on or they had done.
The has is Dustin James property. I think that they've branch. I'm not sure, Willie, on the ones that he has looked at during the latest flooding deal. We do have some EWP work on Swimming Pool Road that's all approved. We're just waiting for the funding to come back to pay for that. And other projects that we have contributed about $125,000 back to the county in addition to these projects that you're looking at, sir. This has been a year of change for us. We have been taken from the umbrella of the Johnson County office with the soil conservation, USDA soil conservation. We will be put under the umbrella of Sullivan County. in addition to that change, they have hired or are going to hire a district conservationist that will be based in Sullivan County and a soil conservationist. So we're getting 2 employees to replace the one that we have in Johnson County.
Okay.
Hopefully we will be more accessible that way. We are also hoping that we can get this deal worked out for a contribution employee that the state and the USDA will help us pay 1/3 of the salary with the money that we have added in addition to our budget, other $10,000. And that we were going to have a new office that all this was being worked on before the COVID outbreak, and it's still in process, but we're kind of behind the 8 ball on it. It will be a new office in Carter County that's more accessible, a lot more parking, have accessibility to put our equipment there that people can rent from us that we purchased over the years, and hopefully be able to be, more productive for the county.
Yeah.
And that's about all I have to say.
Yeah, well, we know you've been working hard in the last couple of years. You certainly had your hands full with as much flooding and things that we have had. And you have had people reaching out to you on help from you all. I think that's a lot of people don't understand that or know that you guys are there for that benefit, and but you do help us out. We appreciate that.
The new office will be hopefully on Highway 91 going to Stony Creek. There we get to Tire World. They have come and we've actually laid the office out, and they were going to order the furniture for it, but then all this happened. So that's probably going to be in maybe the fall. I don't know. I've not got a time frame back from the people in John Womack, which is the district guy from Knoxville. So we're trying. Okay.
Well, that's good. We'll keep us up to date, and we'll be in touch. But we appreciate the job you do for us.
Any questions?
Yeah. Is there questions from the committee members or anything from Mr. Notiford?
I think it's 272. Were you guys able to hear me?
Are there any questions for Mr. Notiford?
Not from me, thank you, sir.
Okay.
If any do come up, feel free to call me or the office. We'll be glad to help you any way we can.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's a total thing. That's 272. That's right.
All right. I'm still there. You hear me over the.
It never. How about now?
Computer audio.
Okay. How about that?
Where is your foot
Sounds
and
better.
camera?
Head nods. Kelly, Travis.
There's the little dot you said.
Yeah, but you should have a camera right here
You
right
didn't
now.
turn it back off. I know it's on.
Okay.
You can.
We'll start with our regular schedule here.
The audio on there should be up to date.
Where at?
Your audio, where's your speakers? You're muted.
Somebody needs to.
So you can unmute and then.
Is that Gary and Ray, maybe?
It's like Gary and Patty's together.
How'd you get there, Gary? I saw you with Ray earlier. But in the meantime, I think I saw something that today may be National Firefighters Day. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I thought it'd be a good time to recognize those ladies and gentlemen for the job that they do for our county and for, nationwide, really. Very brave individuals. Appreciate their hard work. So I did want to recognize that. I think we're good to go, and I've got volunteer fire departments. I see David Jones right there. I think representing them, Mr. Jones, is that correct? All right, go ahead, and I think you can unmute now if that's
Okay. Can you hear me there?
Yes, sir, David, I can hear you.
Okay. Obviously, it's a very different time when we came up with this budget. We were asking for a $35,000 increase. Realize that that's going to be a challenge, obviously, but that is our request. $5,000 per department increase, mostly to cover. We've about all had to purchase new trucks, but that's mainly to cover that cost for each department. Still asking for the 15,000 that we've gotten in the past to cover our firefighter grant matches. Excuse me. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
So the increase from 35 at 5,000 for vehicles basically, or a new truck, is that what you
Basically,
said?
everybody has had to purchase a new truck at the various 7 departments in the county. All different kinds of trucks, obviously, but pretty much everybody has purchased a new truck in the last year or two, or are working on that. But that was our goal behind the increase, back when we were working on this. Obviously, we understand that that's going to be challenging this year. So,
Yeah, I understand and appreciate that consideration. We'll certainly got some numbers to crunch and work with and see what we can come up with, and certainly try to help the best way we can. I'll open up the floor for our committee members if there are any questions for Mr. Jones. Okay, and David, I know you've got your regular job is very, I'm sure, consuming a lot of time right now.
yeah,
Working right on the front lines, definitely, and we
it's a
appreciate
little
that.
crazy right now. So, and I had surgery Friday on my shoulder, so it's a crazy time right now. But yeah, work has been pretty all-consuming the last month. So, and for those of you who don't know, I work in the laboratory over at the medical center, so, in the microbiology department. So, and we're doing the testing. So, we're lucky here. We're not seeing a ton of positive.
Well, that's good news, and we appreciate your work. I know that's very demanding. I'm sure not kind of scary at the same time. So stay healthy and safe. And
Stay close by.
we will be in touch with you on this and work with you the best way we can.
Absolutely. And we will do the same, and appreciate your all's consideration and appreciate your all's work that you're going to be putting on this. No, it's not going to be an easy year.
Hey, David, this is Isaiah Grindstone. I had a quick question.
Yes, sir.
Have you all talked about the availability or the potential availability of the COVID, I'm going to call them relief funds, but the federal monies that could be available for the fire departments?
We have most of it so far that we've seen has been geared toward PPE,
Right.
the acquisition of PPE. We've worked with EMA trying to get some of that. They just opened up some money through the Assistance to Firefighters Grant specifically for PPE to fire departments. I think it's $100 million in the whole country, but and then I've read that they're going to give about 1,000 grants out of that 100 million. So certainly need people to be applying for those for sure.
Right, because I know that in some conversations I've had with Hampton more specifically, but the biggest thing for them is they developed a policy early on, and then the sanitization and disinfecting of the trucks on the calls that gets really expensive.
Oh yeah,
really quickly. And I think it's safe to say that this is probably going to last for quite a while as far as that policy goes. So I mean, this is something definitely we need to keep in mind for you all into the next fiscal year.
Yeah, well, we certainly keep our eyes open and welcome anything anybody hears about or sees about to let us know, so we can try to get applications in for those things in a timely manner.
Well, we greatly appreciate you and everything that you all do.
Thank you. Appreciate you all.
David, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
On your SCBA's countywide, do all your all's bottles integrate with each other, or is the different departments got different bottles?
Majority of them integrate, but a couple of the departments do have different bottles that will not. Manufacturers won't cross. So if I have Scott and somebody else has MSA, you can't swap bottles between those packs.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
How about your membership? What are you seeing with volunteers? Are those numbers increasing kind of as a whole, or where do you stand?
I wouldn't say they're increasing. I think we're holding our own. I think you know, some of the departments are doing a little better than others as far as numbers, and you know, it's a constant challenge to try to get people to join and keep them once you get them to join. The 64-hour class that we've been doing with the city has been a huge help the last 2 years, getting people trained and getting people the necessary training that they need, that we're required to give them. So that has been a huge help to us. And those kind of things help with the recruitment and the retention. It's a constant struggle though with volunteers and people having time, and you know, we're doing okay. I think we work together as a county much better now than we probably ever have, and I think some of that's we've been forced to. You know, you can't, as one department, you can't always cover a fire. You have to rely on your mutual aid. So, you know, we've got great mutual aid agreements, lots of automatic mutual aid. We train together, we work together well. So I think it's probably helped. It's harder to recruit and keep people, but I think it's helped the people we do have work together better.
All right, well, that's good news, and certainly do a good job of keeping us all safe. So we thank you for that, and I guess we'll move on. David, thank you very much.
Anybody, any questions, anytime, just let me know, and I'll get back with you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Next on the list, we got the Butler Volunteer Fire Department. And if we do have a representative, if you will, unmute your microphone and state your name and have your position as well, please.
This is Darwin Garber, and I'm the chief of Butler Volunteer Fire Department.
Hello, Darwin. All right. We've got you on there. The request is for 2021 $20,000, and last year was $5,000 with an increase of 15 from last year to this year. Is there, can you talk on that increase or?
Yes, sir. 3 years ago, we received 20,000. And then last year we asked for an increase of 5,000, and they cut us 20 down to 5,000. So I was asking for our original amount that we were receiving to begin with, which was the 20,000.
Okay. Do you have any, like a number of calls that you guys may have helped us out with in the past year or so, something just to give us an idea?
A minimum of 10. There were several calls that Com Center never paged us on.
Okay.
That was
So
basically
saying,
in our area.
10 verified calls then, basically?
Yes.
Okay.
Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I pulled the call volume from Carter County 911 for 2019. Butler ran 16 calls. But something that concerned me was a report that I've got dated 8/30/2019 from 141 Mallard Code Drive. They tried to do a mutual response. They said, spoke to the Johnson County. They advised that fire chief that never received payment and not been responding. Can you answer that, Darwin? How come that statement would be put in a fire report?
I don't know why that was put in the report. I did contact our communication centers at 911 up here, and one of our dispatchers made a miscue and told Com Center that, and she apologized for doing that.
Okay.
So that was on the dispatcher's problem in Johnson County. It didn't have anything to do with us saying that. That was just something that the dispatcher came up with.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Darwin?
Yes, Mr. Darwin, this is Isaiah Grindstaff. Question on, you know, the county fund. What is the current county funding level there that they're giving you? And do you see that decreasing this coming year?
As of right now, no, I do not see it decreasing, and our county funding right now is 20 grand. And then plus the county also does, like you all do, a matching grant for, when we apply for a matching grant, they'll come up with the money to match the grant, whatever we're applying for, on top of the 20,000 that we get from the county.
Mr. Darwin, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
How many calls do you average for Johnson County?
Usually around 70 calls a year.
70 a year?
Well, that's including Carter as well.
No, this is just Johnson only.
Okay, we'll say this past year we've had a decrease in calls.
Okay.
And we had roughly 55 calls in Johnson County.
55 in Johnson County, and you're
Yep,
funding
and then the
20,000.
ones that he said 16 from us, put us up to about 75
Okay.
between Carter and Johnson together.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right, anything else for the chief there?
Yes, I
Okay.
do.
Yes,
Are
ma'am.
you,
Kelly, go ahead.
are you requesting more from Johnson County, or are you staying at 20,000?
Yes, we're requesting more from Johnson County as well.
How much more are you requesting?
Well, we've not set an exact number between the departments to what we've not met to the budget committee up here yet. We're going to try to have a 5,000 apiece increase for each department in this county as well.
What's the total that Johnson County gives for the whole volunteer fire department?
Well, I can't tell you the exact figure. I know it's 20,000 per 8 departments.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chairman, I got another question, please.
Yes, Travis, go ahead.
On the annual financial reporting, handwritten
Yes, sir.
sheet, under government receipts, it's got 18,550. Well, I'm assuming 5,000, that's what Carter County gives. So it looks like you only got 13,550 from that.
No, I didn't show the Carter County on there.
Okay.
18,550 was what we had after we took out our workman's comp insurance for each department.
Okay.
Each department in our county, they take out what, $1,300 from the 18,500, 18,700, something that makes up the 20,000.
Okay.
So that was that part comes out for workman's comp.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
How many members you have, sir?
Right now, 22.
22, that's a good number. And is your last name Garver, is that right?
Garver.
Garver, okay. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
V with a V.
Okay. All right. Further questions for the chief? Well, if not, we'll work this out, and certainly appreciate you guys and the volunteer work you do and helping us out over here in Carter County. And wish you all the best, and certainly stay safe in this time we're in, sir.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, next on our list is the City of Elizabethton Fire Department, if we have a representative.
Sir, Mr. Chairman.
There you go. I see Mr. Estes. Got a good background right there too, I see.
Well, thank you. That saves you from seeing, my daughter's room that I'm hiding in. So.
Yeah, for those that can't, he's got the covered bridge right behind him. If you can't, it is a good picture.
That was my cheat. I'm hiding from my 3 kids. So
Yeah.
I'm in the room. So, but it's all good. But thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I appreciate your having this meeting and appreciate you taking the time and attention to look at the request that we have before you. I don't think the committee membership may have changed from last year to this year. If it did, I don't recall that. But so this will be the second time we've done this. I'm sure you've got in your packet there what I provided. I'm able to share that too, but if you've already got it in hand, you know, page 2 of the request we had sent in really was just a justification for why we're making the request. Of course, we've got a very positive working relationship with the rest of the fire departments in Carter County. We're in the second year of providing the 64-hour class that we've done to help actually try to increase the rank of volunteer firefighters who are available for the departments across the county. And I think that's worked well. Well, I meant to say, Chris, I've got Chief Carrier on here. If you want to get technical, in particulars on the fire department, the chief can jump on as well. But since this was a new request and it's not been funded, I deserve, I think, to take any slings or arrows that come our way. So that's why I'm happy to be here to speak to you about it. But if you look at some of the information I provided before, Elizabeth Fire Department covers, roughly 70% of the industrial property in the county, 2/3 of the commercial, and nearly 1/3 of all property overall. So that's a pretty significant chunk of the fire protection if you look at assessed value. So that's something to consider when you consider the request.
No, come here.
Yeah, don't lose your dog.
Who's that, the chief we're talking to back there?
Seems like somebody's having a little trouble there, but
Go ahead, please.
the question goes down to it's one of fairness to your taxpayer. That every county taxpayer, including myself, is paying toward fire service, and those county taxpayers that are in the city are paying for everyone's fire service as well, except for none of their tax dollars actually contribute to the fire service that they get. So that's the primary consideration. The justifications for it, I think, very much appreciated and necessary for the county to help with fire service across the county. It's a good thing. But I think there's a reasonable proportion that could help the city provide what it does, again, to protect the property that we do in the county facilities that we do. To get to specifics as to what it would be for, we have a pumper on order now that we've needed. So it's going to replace a frontline piece of equipment. So, and equipment's not cheap, unfortunately. Nothing ever is, but fire equipment is particularly specialized. I know y'all know that. So that's the long and short of it. I'll try not to be particularly long-winded, but I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, thank you. What is the cost of that piece of equipment?
Not to exceed $495,000.
Wow, that is $5 piece of equipment.
Yes, well, and it's a pumper. When we have to get to the ladder truck one of these days, they're well over $1 million. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, but that's not for today. So.
Yeah, right. Great. Well, we understand your request and appreciate, of course, the service that you all do provide for all of our citizens, city and county-wide. Open it up for questions for Mr. Estes or Chief Carrier.
Daniel, can you go back over the 70% of the industrial and the
Sure.
1/3?
Yes, ma'am. Let me see if I can. I thought there might be a way for me to actually share that. So those who are following along with video, if I can throw it over there and see if, but I've got to find it on this side, excuse me. That way we could look at it together. I may not be able to. That's okay. Yes, ma'am. The data I had showed that 70% of industrial property, just shy of that, was 69.9% of industrial property, and the whole county is in the Elizabethton Fire Department's fire. And 2/3 of the commercial property for the whole county or 65.5%, roughly 2/3, is again covered by the Elizabethton Fire Department.
And you're currently not receiving any funds from the county commission on this?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct. In the past, in the 2000s, 2010s, there was an appropriation to the Elizabethton Fire Department. I don't have that exact date in memory, but it stopped somewhere along the way. That's correct. We don't have any appropriation today.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I know Chief Carrier's on here. When I worked at the fire department, I believe we used to have somewhat of a mutual aid with all the county fire departments that we would respond if needed. And also, I believe there's an automatic dispatch. Is it right, Barry, for all churches and county schools? Is that correct?
There's not an automatic dispatch, but we do have mutual aid with all the county departments. And I think it's a good time to say that I think David is doing a great job as running the Volunteer Fire Association, and we've got a great working relationship. They've helped us out many times, and we've helped them out sometimes too. We did take that ladder truck up to Barnett's Guns, I think it's a couple of years ago. And then there was another time that they needed it up at Unica High School, but that one wound up being not really a big problem. But we're here if you need us, and I know they are here if we need them. And I think to Mr. Estes' point, the city taxpayers are paying, county taxes, and the only thing you can say is, they're not getting their share back for the fire service that we provide. So I think that's only fair issue to bring up.
Yes, and let me add to that. I think Chief Carrier would agree that none of that is meant in any way to diminish the funding requests for the volunteer fire services that are there. Those are extremely vital and important. We don't want to take away from anybody else.
Absolutely. We don't want their money, but there should be an appropriation for the city.
Ms. Collins agrees with you also.
Thank you, ma'am.
Chief Carrier, it's Isaiah Groundcliff. I think during it was last year or year before last, whenever this had come up, I think we were able to determine that back in 2010, that was something to do with a purchase or an assistance on purchase of a truck, if I remember correctly. I know that's been a couple of years ago.
Yes, yeah, that's how that appropriation started. But I think it ended after 3 years. I want to say 96, 97, and 98. It was in the $30,000 range. But that note on that truck lasted, I think, 7 years. So that appropriation got cut out after about 3 years. I really don't know what the issue was at the time.
Right. I can't say that what was going on then, but I think that at least I think I could support some assistance in purchasing a pumper or something to offset that cost as well. Especially, I think in the future, hopefully, when you go for that ladder truck. I know that that's a humongous asset to not just our county, but I think neighboring counties as well under those mutual aid agreements. So greatly appreciate what you all do. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. And I just want to reiterate what Chief Jones said. Nobody can work on their own anymore. Everything is so expensive and manpower is so expensive. We have to have mutual aid, and especially between the city and the county. That's critical for everybody inside Carter County.
Yeah, I think we all can agree with that, and certainly appreciate you guys working the best you can side by side with our volunteer people, and we understand that you got to have the equipment and recognize the need for this request. And the times are tough as far as everybody knows that at this point, and we'll certainly kind of count some numbers, and we want to help you out, Daniel and Chief Carrier. So we'll try work this thing out. Hopefully we can here pretty soon.
Chairman, I do have
any other questions?
I'm just going to throw my 2 cents worth in there. This is David. Barry's right. We're working together as a county, including the city. You know, we have to these days, and there's more opportunity for us to do that. And I think there's more things that we can do together to improve the service for everybody. So, you know, the funding, I know it's tough. I don't have the answers for that part, but what they do is just as important to the county as what we do.
Daniel, this is Travis.
Yes, sir.
How long was that note that the city's getting for the loan on that fire truck?
Well, we did it as part of a bond issue that went with the police department project as well. So we had the police department, the fire truck, and then we're going to work on a parks maintenance facility. It was a 20-year bond.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, anything else from the committee? Further questions?
Mr. Chairman, if I could, I wanted to say thank you, Chairman Garland. Thank you, members of the committee. We appreciate the opportunity to speak to you and appreciate, again, the positive tone that, you know, we've been able to have the conversation in. And again, I know the cooperation we've had, city and county, is evident. You've heard us spoken to here. And also, I think some of it kind of goes behind the scenes as well. You know, the Elizabethton Police Department, the Sheriff's Office, and 911 working together on the records management system. I know it's not on topic, but very pleased with what short tenure I've had here on the city side to see us finding avenues to work. Appreciate your consideration, and if there's any additional information anytime, please give us a call.
All right. We appreciate it, gentlemen. We know you provide a critical service, and thanks again for the training class that you do offer to help our.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, y'all stay safe, and we'll talk soon. All right, next on the list is the firefighter grant that has been mentioned, and I don't know if Brad wants to speak on that, but that is a $15,000 request, and that's pretty much the same about every year, I believe, and same request this year. So it'll be $15,000, no change in that budget request. Any questions on that one? If not, we'll move down to Mr. Arnold and the rescue squad.
Good evening, Ross. It's Anthony.
Oh, there's Anthony. Okay. Hey, buddy.
Mr. Garland.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, committee, this is Terry. Glad to be with you this evening.
We can hear you.
I'm sorry.
We can hear you on this end. That's what I'm saying. So if you want to talk to us, or looks like you guys are the same. 272,700, which was the request from last year, approved last year, and the same request this year. So no change in.
Yeah, we're trying to keep it the same as it was last year. Things have changed since March on a lot of stuff here at the rescue squad, and with the viruses that's been going around, we've spent quite a bit of money in getting the PPEs and all that stuff. Together. Anthony's done a great job to keep getting ahead of the game on that. But we're trying to keep it the same as we did last year.
Okay, I know. Of course, we mentioned grants. I'm sure you guys try to reach out for those any way possible, whatever does come up. And
yeah, we've got a grant in from the CARE Act. We received a $65,762.55, and that goes to supplies. It can go toward payroll, but there's a lot of rules with it that we've done, and we've got another one that's pending right now through the Medicare Act, and it's it's an add-on to this, and it's $6,842.59. That's where we're at right now. There's some more out there that we've applied for. Whether we get them or not, I don't know. But this is the first time since I've carried the rings here that we've been able to get grants. A lot of times through the years, we just didn't qualify for the grants the way we was structured and everything else. But this is, it's helped as far as trying to stay ahead of all the equipment that we've tried to buy. We've still got equipment that won't be here till late May, maybe in June. But we set aside some of this CARE Act money to buy that machine. You know, there's about a $7,000 machine that we're producing to buying. And at times we have to, our crews are going in and they'll use at least four complete sets of PPE, gowns, masks, the whole 9 yards. And, you know, we have to throw that stuff away. We are doing things, Anthony is, to recycle our N95s, and he's in the process of building it now. But for all, we're trying to keep it down as much as we can. We can't go out and do things that we want to do to make it better for our counties. We've always wanted to get into Hoagie, Elk Mills section, get a station built. But the money is, you know, it's, I was telling the mayor, it's somewhere around $298,000 a year just to man that station a year. And, but, you know, it's one of the projects I've worked on for a long time since I've been here, is trying to get us out further out in the county. And sometimes the money just don't, you know, let that happen.
Yeah, we understand that, and then know that, and we got to say thanks to you guys. I mean, you're out there on the front lines right now in this tough time that we are, and take this back as a collective, I'm sure, from this whole group, and speaking for everybody. But you tell your people you got working for you that we appreciate them and what they're doing for us.
I was watching you, Chairman Carl, the other county commissioner, if you see our folks out somewhere, if you would just pass a well-due job and thank you out to them when you see them out and about, I would deeply appreciate it.
Yes, you're welcome. You got good inventory on PPE, and you're able to.
We've been lucky, Ross. We start every year in August. We order our flu vaccines. Always order surgical masks and gowns for our flu season. So we had that put back, and we were lucky. We're ahead of some other agencies. Yeah, but I was gonna give you an idea here. As on 5/1, we had spent $31,684.60 as of May the 1st on PPE since the first of the year. So it's been expensive, but we're staying ahead of the game. We're lucky. We're able to procure stuff like that too. Take some late nights, sometimes searching stuff on the internet, but we've been lucky.
Yeah, that's good. We appreciate you working hard and staying on top of that. I know you people appreciate that too. Are there some questions for Director Arnold or Mr. Roberts there for anyone? No question? All right, gentlemen. Well, once again, thank you for your hard work and what you do for Carter County and saving lives out there. We appreciate that, guys.
Thank you, Ross. Also, thank you for consideration.
Thank you, guys, for your support. Like Anthony said, if you see our guys out, give them a pat, because that's all we get sometimes. But, you know, they're fighting this just as much as we are and trying to keep it safe in our county and our local hospital and everything else. So we appreciate anything you can do.
All right. We'll do the best we can for you to help you out. So thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, that moves us down to vocational rehab. I'll say kind of who's on deck. That might help you guys for, that'll be Shepherd's Inn coming up. and the Children's Advocacy Center will follow that. So right now we'll hear from the Vocational Rehabilitation, please.
Yes, I'm Charles Hamilton. I'm the new manager at the Tennessee Rehabilitation Center in Elizabethton. For those of you that may not know what we do, we work with individuals with disabilities. We teach them job skills and things like filling out resumes, filling out job applications, how to dress, how to participate in interviews, different things like that. And we hope to, our goal is to not only help them successfully find employment, but to keep that employment. The vocational rehab, we've been around since the 60s. We're actually going through some changes this year. We're finally starting to modernize. I know sometimes it takes a long time to come around, but we're moving away from facility-based work. What facility-based work is we have a facility where we've brought in work. We've had our customers come and do this contract work. These contracts come from different companies in the area. We have contracts with Diversified Power in Sullivan County, with Kennemetal in Johnson City. We work with Snap-on in Elizabethton. And we bring the work in, the clients would do it, and then we'd send the work back. Well, what we're wanting to do now is we're wanting to get out of the shadows, I guess you could say. We are working now on changing to community partners. We're wanting to bring our clients, our customers out into the community and be working alongside people without disabilities. We want them to have the same opportunities as people that people that don't have the disabilities, with the competitive employment. As of last year, we had 24 successful graduations from our program. And that's 24 people that are ready to work, ready to get out into the community. I want to let y'all know that even right now during this whole COVID thing, we're still providing those services to our customers. We're able to use telephone, video conferences and things still to work on with them on their resumes, their job applications, just the different what we call job readiness. We have a few partners already that we've moved in with. We're doing work with the Marathon gas stations, which is owned by Greenville Oil, and we're working with Kennemetal and Diversified Power, actually sending our clients to the factories and things like that. And we're just hoping with going forward, we'll be able to have a better way to provide services to our customers. We're also doing a lot of stuff with school students. It's a program that we call Pre-Employment Transition Service, and we're hoping working with we work with ages 14 to 22 in that program, and we're hoping that by the time they're out of high school, that they're ready to get a job, so they don't just go home and sit and not do anything. I mean, that's pretty much all I got. If anybody's got any questions, I realize last year y'all approved $27,809, and we appreciate that. From my understanding, I just took this job over in December, but last year I believe $41,000 was asked. We wanted to stick with the same of what we asked last year, but we appreciate y'all funding this.
Okay, yes, Charles, and we appreciate you, and we offer a great service as well, getting people back in the workforce. I think is kind of what you do, and helping folks find jobs. So we appreciate that. I know you got a hard job. Who did you replace? Just for the record, so I don't know.
I replaced I replaced Sandy Ray.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And so are you asking for an increase? I'm not real sure on that. I know there's 41,000 on there, and that is a change from last year. Is that correct with you saying that?
From understanding the letters and stuff that we had last year, that 41,000 is what was requested last year, and
okay.
What was approved by you all was the 27,000. So we're asking for the 41,000.
Okay.
Some other stuff. we're going to try to do is we're trying to bring more stuff into our center as far as different services. We're hoping to get in, and help people with, driving and, driver's tests and computer skills and things like that. Also, is what we're looking to bring that into our center as well. To give the, to give our clients more.
Additional funding may help you with that, those kind of services.
Yes, sir.
All right. Already got questions for Mr. Hamilton.
I've got a couple of questions.
Go ahead, Travis.
On your preliminary budget, you've got a $46,000 increase in salaries, a $45,000 increase in employee benefits, $9,000 increase in travel, and $7,000 in utilities and fuel. Are you adding people to work down there?
Oh, we are in the process of hiring new counselors for Carter County and Johnson County. We've recently hired a new what we call business employment consultant, and that's a person that goes out to businesses and develops relationships with these businesses and helps our clients, have a door in, basically, be able to step foot in. So yeah, we've added several positions, and we just recently hired my replacement for the job. I was just promoted, and we recently hired to fill the position that I was in.
Okay, thank you.
Got further questions?
Yeah, I have a question. How do you advertise? What's your outreach? How do you make people aware of what services you're offering?
Right now, we're working on new ways to do that. Right now, we attend like Chamber of Commerce meetings. We attend job fairs. We host job fairs. We do job fairs with like Department of Corrections. We have employees that are in the schools. We have like a pre-eds counselor who's in the schools, promoting us in the schools for like the pre-eds. And then, basically we make phone calls, we introduce ourselves, and just we build relationships with people.
How do you target the Carter County population?
Well, we, like I said,
other than the schools.
We are working with, we're trying to work with Walmart. We're trying to move in to have different businesses. We're formerly working with Snap-on. We're trying to rebuild that relationship. We actually have with Marathon Gas Station. We're working with Marathon Gas Station in Elizabethton. And we're working, with several ones too outside of Carter County, but we're working with them in Carter County as well.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
what other counties do you serve also, Charles?
We serve Unicoi County, Sullivan County, Washington County, and Johnson County.
All right, thank you.
How many employees do you have total?
Currently at the TRC, we have 4 for TRC. The way the structure works is the BEC is actually our business employment consultant is in a different management structure, but they technically work for our center, so that would actually be 5, and we're working on hiring a counselor right now as well. So that'd be 6 total at our center.
Okay, how much does Johnson County and Unicoi? You have that?
I don't have that in front of me. I might be able to find it. Well, I'm not sure how to work this thing to lower it. But
that's okay.
Kelly, were you asking like what those counties fund them?
Yes.
Good question.
Could you send that to Mr. Burke or Mr. Garland later?
I could, yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I've got another question, Mr. Hamilton.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
How are you, are you affiliated or in any way connected with the Department of Human Services?
Yes, we are under the Department of Human Services.
So you're like an umbrella underneath the Department of Human Services?
Yes. I mean, we have different management structures, but yeah, we're technically under the department.
Okay.
Anything else for Mr. Hamilton? All right, sir, we'll do some work on this and see what we can come up with, but thank you for serving Carter County and Elizabeth, and appreciate your time here tonight.
Welcome. Thank you for allowing me to speak. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Okay, next on the list, we've got the Shepherd's Inn, and that's usually Mr. Gabinet if he's on the other end, or.
I am.
Okay.
Can you all hear me?
Right. Yeah, 1 second. We've got you're up now. Children's Advocacy, and then Miss Paulson with Isaiah 117 House to follow. So go ahead, sir.
All right. First off, thank you all so much for allowing us to do this and facilitating this. You all done a magnificent job keeping it so that we can all be a part of this experience. I also want to thank you all for your very fine gift last year. Your $12,000 that you gave to us supported the mortgage that goes for the house, and then we pay that a year in advance, of course, and we don't have to worry about that. And nearly all the funds that come from your gift goes to that purpose, and very thankful for you doing that for us. And I have one more word of thanks before I say anything else. I know this is a weird situation we're all in right now, and it's no more stranger to anyone than it is to us, because we take people in 24/7, women and children who have no place to go, domestic violence situations, as you all know. And we don't have state or federal funding. We rely on community funds, and of course, in our city and our county. And I want you all to know that we got a little shaken up in March, April, actually in April, when we could not do our March fundraiser as a result of COVID. And frankly, I want to give a big word of appreciation to Mayor Barnett. Let me tell you what, I contacted the mayors and I said, look, we may be in trouble. I don't have the money coming in for the spring because the churches are not operating and so forth and so on, and our spring fundraiser is not operating. And your mayor, our mayor, got on the phone and made tons of calls for us, and literally made arrangements for us to get things that we are getting right now, helped us tremendously. And I just want to thank you, Mayor Barnett, for your tremendous support in this and giving us guidance. And I will say that the voice of the mayor of Carter County has a lot more voice than a little old director of the Shepherd's Inn. So I'm grateful to him for that. Last year, I sent you the report for last year, and you will see that in the numbers, we're a lot lower than the previous years, which is a good thing. The calls were less for domestic violence, and that's understandable. However, this year, well, let me back up a little bit. You cannot always guide by that. It's hard to do a budget because you don't know what you're going to have coming in. And when the women and kids come in, regardless of what time of the day or night it is, you just don't know the numbers. So what's happened in 2019 is we had a very low number. And the actual number was 58 in occupancy days. And we figure occupancy days by one night, one bed, and it's considered one day, one occupancy day. So to give you an idea, that was 2019. This year, the first quarter, I said 58 in the first quarter from January through April. This year, from January to April, not 58 occupancy days. We've had 1,018 occupancy days in your shelter, which gives you an equivalency of, instead of 174 meals that's been prepared in the first quarter, that's 1,284 meals that's been prepared in the first quarter. As you all know, when this pandemic hit, people have, of course, they have to stay at home, and this is when domestic violence seems to peak. It is a nationwide. It is. We work very closely with Kathy Walsh, who is the executive director of the Tennessee Coalition to End Domestic Violence, and she's been very, very helpful. But we have seen this massive surge. we are taking advantage of every fund possible. We are, of course, we went over the PPE, we went over to getting some funds. Arch has been very good to us in Johnson City. We've been working with them. And we thank you, Rusty, again, pardon me, Mr. Mayor, for your help with Arch, because we got a truckload of food today. And first time we've had enough meat in our freezers. So we appreciate all that. So all in all, what we're asking for this year, again, this coming year, is the same. We want to pay our mortgage. When the funds, if the funds are allotted to us, that's where, of course, where they go to. I'm a little uncertain, as you might imagine, right now, because since we have to rely upon our good churches and our good friends in the community, even though I'm asking for $12,000, I don't know what July, August, September, October is going to hold yet. None of us do. So watch out for us. If you hear us needing some help, send $1 to us, and we'd be so grateful to you. If it comes from the county or your pocketbook, we'd be so thankful. So all in all, I'll be glad to answer any questions you have. That's basically everything else has been sent to you in the preparations request. And again, thank you all so much for helping us maintain this program.
Yes, you're welcome. And Paul, we certainly thank you for the service that you do provide for women and children. And I mean, it's great that you got a place like that is available for those people. And you know, there was some positive numbers. That I guess the lower the number, the better for you. But that is unfortunate to hear for this year. So, but we're here for you, and we'll certainly help you. Do you see that you'll be able to have your fundraising events later in the year? Or?
Well, the big one that we really hit is the one at the racetrack, not at the racetrack, but during race week. It's been moved to September, and that's the one. You know, that's I chairman the board, and we all work together, and it's actually sponsored by State Line. And frankly, what's happening is we haven't a clue. Right now, I'm assuming that NASCAR is going to probably be running empty tracks, and I don't see that happening. And the thing that's going to hurt us is that we can get anywhere. I'm going to lose about $25,000 in contributions this year. I'm sending out a mailing this next week, and you all will get it. You all will get my mailing. Get that little envelope and throw $1 in there for me. But we will be sending all these out next week. And hopeful that will kick in some more support. But I'm going to be short, I'm afraid, more so this year than I have in the past. So we're sitting on pins and needles. So no, to answer your question, we don't know. You know, we do a Christmas fundraiser, we do a fall fundraiser, or spring or summer fundraiser with the park. And so I'm not sure what's going to happen.
Okay. Well, I hope everything goes, you know, that it can work out for you, and we'll get some more of that money coming into you guys. There are questions?
We appreciate you all very much.
Any questions for Mr. Gabinet from the committee?
Yeah, I've got a question. This is Aaron Frazier. What was those numbers again for occupancy days? That was an astounding number compared to 2019.
Scary, isn't it? We just had a really low number last year, and let me give you an extra number because it will for 2018 as well, because that gives you a little bit more realistic approach. And let me give you 2018. 2018 in the first quarter, and this is pretty average. We had 104 occupancy days. A little low, but that's about where we are. In 2019, we had 58 occupancy days from January through April. And January through April this year, it's 1,018 occupancy days.
Thank you very much. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you very much.
All right, I know, well, we got Mayor Barnett on here, and we want to thank him for stepping up and helping you guys out right there in your time. Thank you, Mayor. Further questions for Mr. Gabinet and the Shepherd's Inn? If not, sir, thanks again for your efforts in this county and serving a wide range of people. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you all for supporting us. Take care, all.
All right. All right, that will move us to Children's Advocacy Center is coming up, Isaiah 117 House, and then we will have Assistance and Resource Ministries armed to follow. But right now, Children's Advocacy Center.
Hi, my name is Samantha Prater. I'm the Executive Director of the Children's Advocacy Center. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can, Samantha. It's happy to have you on here and
Okay.
welcome.
Okay, this year we are requesting $5,000, which is the same that we have requested for the past 2 years. For anyone that does not know what we do, we are obviously a Children's Advocacy Center. We serve the 1st Judicial District, which is Carter, Johnson, Washington, and Unicoi County. We provide forensic interviewing, trauma-based therapy services, medical exams, and advocacy services for children in severe physical and sexual abuse situations. That is what we do. And as the last man mentioned, we were also not able to have a spring fundraiser. We have one tentatively planned for October. Who knows what could happen before then, but we're just maintaining what we asked for last year. Are there any questions?
Any questions for Mrs. Prater?
Yeah, what does the other counties give?
Okay, I'm going to base this off of last year. Washington County last year gave us, I believe it was $6,000 in appropriations, and they are currently toying with cutting that completely. The next meeting is June 4th. Johnson County, right now we receive a court fee from the Victims Assistance Fund, and we just today received a check for $1,040, and I think that covered the first quarter of the year. Between Unicoi and Irwin, we probably get about $7,000, and that's between victims assistance and just appropriations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Prater, do you receive money from City of Elizabeth?
We have requested that. I went and spoke to them last October, and the request has been made, and I have not heard anything back from Mayor Alexander at this point. So that's just kind of waiting.
Okay, thank you. Further questions? Well, we want to thank you for what you do. We know that's certainly a tough job seeing young people come in, and I know you've got a very hard job, and it takes a lot of courage, and we appreciate that. And thank you for helping these kids, and certainly in our county and all around. So hopefully we can help you out just the same as we have. We'll have to certainly do some homework, and well, hopefully we'll be able to fund you the same as before. So thank you very much, ma'am.
Well, I thank you for letting me speak, and appreciate the money you gave us last year. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, who we got? Okay, Isaiah 117. Rhonda, you on there?
I am. This is Rhonda Paulson. I'm the founder and executive director of Isaiah 117 House. And I thank you all so much for this opportunity and for everything I know it took to put this call together. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And certainly thank you for the service that you do provide. I know you guys have had a really positive and great year on getting, how many houses you got set up now for?
It's been pretty wild. I think it's amazing, you know, that our flagship home is in Carter County, and the Carter County home is actually the first of its kind across the state of Tennessee. And that home opened in 2018. We now have 3 open homes. We'll have 5 by the end of summer. We have 17 expansions across the state. 3 expansions in Indiana, and 35 states have reached out saying they want a home just like the one in Carter County.
Oh man, that's amazing. That's great news, and you need to pat yourself on the back for your vision and integrity in this endeavor you've reached out for and certainly achieved tremendous success. And I know you've got a board and family and other people that have helped you along the way, but it's really special to have that kind of outreach, nationwide. And it really says something a lot about you and your the whole 117 house. So.
Well, I thank you for your kind words, but I'm being completely honest. As I travel the state and now multiple states, I tell them all about how Carter County rallied around this dream and made this house a reality. And then I encourage other counties to follow that model, and they're doing it. And it's been amazing to watch that once a county is aware of the need, how they step up to take care of their children. And so I applaud you all, the whole county, for being an example to others. So thank you.
Yeah, that's great.
If I could share maybe one thing with you all tonight, and I have heard so many others already speak, and you know that this is crazy, uncertain times for all of us. But our doors have never shut, not for 1 minute of this pandemic. We have had children in our homes every single day. We have been lavishly loving on those children, providing for their needs. We've been lavishly loving on caseworkers. They've had a really hard time right now with all the children being home all day long, many not in safe environments, many with not enough food or enough supervision. And then we've been able to love on foster parents that have been willing to step up during this really hard time and say yes. But then oftentimes they're saying yes at midnight and Walmart's not even open anymore. There's literally nowhere they can go to get clothes or formula or a pack and play. And so we've been able to provide for those families. And we do take the money that you all give us, and we have very little overhead. We do not have any debt. And so we use that money to love on children entering the system, caseworkers, and future foster parents.
Yeah, that's great. We appreciate that love and continue to spread that. And I'm sure you bring smiles to many young children's faces. It's amazing that what's come out of this and your vision and of course, certainly the good Lord's plan for this too. So
amen. Yes.
I think every day. But that's just tremendous. Great story. And you've got some, I guess, some TV time as well, hadn't you? Plenty of that. And
I think that's where the 35 states came from. We call it the micro effect, but yes.
Yeah, well, that's great to have that kind of publicity and reaching out nationwide. 35 states, that's crazy. So, but we're glad that you're part of Carter County and that you got to start here, and we're proud of you and thankful that the service that you can provide. So,
thank you.
Any questions for Ms. Paulson?
Hi, Rhonda.
Hello.
First of all, I want to say great job and thank you so much. Second question I have is just some insight from you. What are we seeing in Carter County as far as, are we seeing an increase, a slow downward stop, or like a flat line? What are you seeing as far as the children being? I know what I see in the courts, so I want to see what you're seeing on your end.
I think overall, when I compare Carter, we have open homes in Carter, Washington, Greene, and then we don't have an open home in Sullivan yet. It should open anytime, but we have a program coordinator there loving on children coming into custody and caseworkers. When I look at the caseload, Washington and Greene are definitely removing more children at this time.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. We've had children in the house every week, but it has been a slower. Greene County has been slammed. I mean, so many children being removed. So overall, I would say probably typical for Carter County. It makes my heart a little scared because I know there are children out there that aren't safe, and there's just not enough eyes to watch them right now. So that's kind of my fear for Carter County right now.
Yes, I agree, especially with schools being out and parents being at work or not at work. So,
and it scares me. It scares me as they cancel all summer programs.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know where these children are supposed to go. And then there's no one looking after them. And it really scares me.
Yes. Well, thank you for such a wonderful job. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rhonda, how many employees do you have?
We have 2 part-time employees.
Okay.
And we have a volunteer staff of about 40 plus and 2 part-time employees. And all of our funds are private churches, private grants, and the Carter County Commission.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else for Ms. Paulson? Well, thanks again. Great to have you, and best of luck in the future and with everything going on. We wish you, health and happiness and touching the lives of so many people. Thank you for your staff and those caseworkers you do have. You guys remain safe, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. And I don't envy you all. I know it's a hard year, so thank you all very much.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, we'll have Arm and Miss Banks coming up. Kids like us to follow in the Carter County Honor Guard.
Hey, Chairman, can I bring up something real fast?
Yes, Travis, go ahead.
Back on the Shepherd's Inn and the Children's Advocacy Group, back in October, the Health and Welfare Committee brought a resolution to us that would give $45 charge, with that being split between those 2 groups. Would Brad know if we've brought in any money on that?
There's just been a little bit through March. I'm not sure what came in April so far.
Okay.
So it's some money coming back then, a little bit. All right, Ms. Banks, you there?
I am now. Hello.
All right. Okay. Well, welcome, and we're happy to have you.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I'm coming to you as chair of the Armed Food Pantry, and I want to thank you. We came to you last year, desperate to stay open, and you and others in the community rescued you and rescued us, and we do remember, and we're grateful. We also remember that we were warm this winter because of your generosity, and we're asking for more than you allotted us last year, but less than you actually gave us. Because of your generosity and that of the community, ARM has been in existence since 1991. And it's especially important this year to note that it was founded by the Carter County Ministerial Association to have a central place where people in need could come for help. When I put in the application for assistance from Carter County Commission, our biggest problem was our truck. We were able to purchase a truck through a grant, and we were generally getting food from Second Harvest and from Walmart, and having the box truck meant that we could get food given to us by Sam's Club. And each week we could fill up the truck with food, and it really is awesome. However, and some of you know what I'm going to say next, the truck always needs repaired. And we have now started renting a box truck weekly to get this food, and it wasn't in our budget. And we have found no grant to help us. When I wrote this application, we needed extra money to fix what was broken, just like we do at home. But since then, a lot's changed. With COVID-19, we have been able to stay open by closing down the clothing side of ARM. It was set up like a store where clients walk through and choose what they needed. And the food side has been able to remain open as a drive-through. People drive up and give their name, and through walkie-talkies, we check their eligibility and then send them around to the other side of the building where they can pick up their food off a conveyor belt. It limits contact for us and them and allows us to have less older volunteers and keep service for people in Carter County. Our problem is, and I've heard this with others, Shepherd's Inn, churches provide a lot of our income, and now churches who have supported us from the beginning are not getting offerings they did. because they're not meeting and their members are out of work. Because of coronavirus, we are not able to hold fundraisers that we enjoyed before. And there's passage in the Bible that kept going through my head where Jesus asked Peter if Peter loves him, and Peter says he does, and the question's asked 3 times, and the last time Jesus said, feed my sheep. And as I ask for money, I think of this, and we know that we're one sheep in a flock asking. Everything I've heard tonight is a real need in Carter County. And we are asking that you help us in any way you can. And we know that you are fair. Are there questions?
Questions for Mr. Banks? Well, we thank you for the service that you do provide and touch many lives. I know you do, and you got tough jobs down there, but you're keeping people fed, and that's great. I know through this tough time, just to continue to work hard and help people out the best you can. That's our job, is to hopefully we can help you out. I know there is an increase. We'll have to do some homework, like I say before, and hopefully we can meet those needs for you guys, but if not, we'll help you in any way that we can.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. All right. No further questions from Ms. Banks. We'll have Kids Like Us next, Carter County Honor Guard, and followed with the Red Cross. We have a representative for Kids Like Us, please.
Yes, I'm here. Lisa Lyons, the founder and director of Kids Like Us. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, Lisa, we can hear you. Welcome.
Well, I want to thank you for having this meeting tonight. I know there's been so many stories here, and it's really heartbreaking what is happening to our agencies around the community. But the one blessed thing that I have seen is that we're all been pulling together, and I think that's been a blessing. Just let me say that. For those of you who are not familiar with Kids Like Us, we are in the old Range Elementary School. We have been open 2 years, and we service children from age 3 all the way through adulthood with any type of disability or diagnosis. We also have children that attend there with no disability at all. During the school year, we serve as an after-school program to help with those who are academically behind. We have 2 apartments on site where we teach, help them to work toward independent living and being able to go into a program such as the Tennessee Voc Rehab program at an early age. Because with these young adults, repetitiveness is a big thing. COVID-19 has really been hard on our kids. They are so full of structure and routine, which is so important for them, and they have had anything but that. So our struggles have been great, not just financially, but mentally for them as well. We follow the school system normally, so when COVID-19 first hit, we shut down for a couple of weeks, but then we have been going live on Zoom and doing things with them at home. The challenge for us is that no 2 of them are just alike or at the same level most of the time. So it's usually requiring a one-on-one session with the parent and the child, trying to keep them in front of the computer to stay engaged as they're dealing with their therapies as well. So it's been a huge struggle for our parents. Since COVID-19, we had 135 kids enrolled when this took place, and we now have a waiting list of 75 additional children. The money that we've asked for is an increase. We moved locations since we last asked for funding from Carter County. So all of our operational expenses went up. We have been open, it'll be 3 years in December. We have no paid staff. We had 16,842 volunteer hours last year that kept the center running. All of our money goes toward the children. If you haven't been to see Kids Like Us, I encourage you to do so. You're missing out on a true blessing in Carter County.
Yeah,
Any
well, we appreciate that, and thank you for the service that you provide, and for your volunteer hours, and that's very special that you can help people like that and young kids. We certainly appreciate that. Do you guys own that building at Range School, or
No, we rent the building from Everett Stout.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions? Any other questions from the committee? All right. Well, we know you've got your work cut out for you, so you remain strong down there and keep working hard and helping those kids out. And we'll do the best we can. We know there's an increase there, and we'll see what we can do for you, and certainly help you out in any way possible.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. You're welcome. And next we'll have the Carter County Honor Guard, followed by Red Cross and First Tennessee Human Resource Agency. Got Mr. Green on there from the Honor Guard, or? Mr. Green, I can see you. Are you speaking? I think, I don't know if you, there you go. You're good.
All right, there we go. Yeah, all right. Thanks, guys, for having us on there in your meeting tonight, and I really appreciate the support that we've got from each individual in the county and the city doing these funerals that we do for our veterans. And of course, right now we are on the slowdown, if you want to put it that way, until this pandemic is over. But it takes money to get this thing going, and unfortunately we have to ask for some money along the way. So that's the reason we put up the requisition for the $10,000. My main objective now for the Honor Guard, of course I always need help, but I need some uniforms, newer uniforms, updated uniforms, mostly for our Army veterans that are serving us. I've got 16 active members right now. I've got 24 unactive members. Don't know if they'll come back to help us out after this is over or not. But I know once this pandemic is over and we can go back to work, we're going to be looking at a lot of funerals, because the people that had their loved ones cremated, they're going to be waiting for us to do a service when this is over, and we're going. I know we're going to be slammed. So, and I tell you, it breaks my heart when I get a phone call and somebody say, "I've got a loved one that's passed away. Can you do military honors for them?" And I tell them I can't do it right now. This thing, it hurts deep to have to tell somebody that. So, and actually, folks, looking at what's going on in our nation and everything that's going on, the military honors for our veterans is the thing that's going by the wayside. And I really don't want to see that happen. We need to keep it going if we can. We've got a lot of us that are getting on up in age, and we think a little different than the younger generation, but we need to try to do the best we can to serve the ones that's already served us, because they've earned it, they deserve it, and that's what I'm after, is to serve these folks because they loved us enough to serve our nation.
Yeah, that's well said. We certainly agree with that, and it is an honorable service that you can provide for these people at the funerals, and we appreciate you being able to do that and helping those out in that tough time. And it is actually a good feeling. I've been to those services, and it brings a sense of pride even at that time of loss and mourning. But we appreciate that. We'll open it up for if there are questions for Mr. Green there, if anybody's got anything.
Mr. Green, are we the only one that's giving any money right now?
No, ma'am. We received $10,000 from the city back 6 months ago, I believe it was. They gave us a $10,000 donation. Like I said, I'm looking to do the uniforms, but we also have our van that we got to take care of. And the van's a 06. I'm the one that takes care of that van. I'm starting to see some issues with it. I know down the road, putting as many miles on that vehicle as we do, we're going to be looking at purchasing a van soon, whether it's new or used. I know that's coming. Also with the upkeep of the van, we got to put tires on it, and they don't make cheap tires no more. So we got a lot of upkeep on that vehicle. But like I said, I see in the future, it's probably pretty soon, that we're going to have to get us another van. I would like to know that we're going to have 2 honor guard teams to serve all of our veterans, to where I'd have to have 2 vans right away, because we have that many funerals. Last year, we done 197 funerals. That's a lot of service members that we served, and that's a lot of miles on that vehicle. But then again, it's a lot of miles on these old bodies too, because these old fellas don't run like we used to. And if we can get some help, I'd love to have 2 teams so we're not overworked, you know.
Yeah, well, we like to see that. And
Do you do any type of fundraising at all?
We do not. Now, we've discussed doing that, and I'm hoping this coming summer we can do a yard sale up at the American Legion building.
Well, I've got some stuff I'll give you.
If we don't sell it, you gonna come get it?
No.
Oh man, come on.
Okay, thank you.
Now we've discussed different ways of making money, and we stay so busy doing funerals. It's hard for us to do anything else but that. And that's not an excuse. That's the way it is, you know. When you do 2 or 3 funerals a day, that's an all-day process right there.
yeah, I know. I'm sure that's tough, and that's a significant number that you said. But we appreciate it, and certainly serving our veterans and giving back to them is very
Honored to serve
our cause there.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, will you be seeking, I know you said that was a donation from the city as a gift, I guess, but will you seek that funding again now?
No. And honestly, I don't, look, once I get new uniforms, and like I said, I know a van's coming down. Okay, you lost my video. There we go.
We just see you there.
Anyway, new phone was new until I dropped it. But we won't need no more money after this, really. It'll be a while before we could honestly come up with say we need more money. I don't see it. You know, it's really I think a one-time deal for a long time.
Appreciate that honesty there, and I guess your guys, it is all volunteer. You know,
it is right.
Yeah.
Every now and again we go out to eat though.
Yeah, gotta eat. Understand that, but we do appreciate that service, and just thanks for the honesty there, and we'll certainly do the best we can to help you out any way we can, sir.
We certainly appreciate anything you can do for us. I appreciate all of you.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Honor Guard, okay, we'll have Red Cross coming up. We got First Tennessee Human Resource Agency, and then the Retired Senior Volunteer Program to follow. Red Cross.
Hey everybody, my name is Heather Carbajal, and I'm the new Executive Director for the American Red Cross. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to put this together. I know we've all been stretched a little thin with the coronavirus precautions, and thank you to all the other agencies. It's been really inspiring as a new person who's still learning the agencies in the area to hear about the work that you guys are doing in Carter County. The Red Cross has been in the area for over 100 years, fulfilling our mission of preventing and alleviating human suffering. We provide life-saving disaster tools like free smoke alarms and preparedness education for students as young as kindergarten and well through adulthood, as well as supporting our military active duty soldiers and veterans. Today I'm here to ask for support for our home fire campaign. Most people don't know that single family fires are the most common type of disaster. Nationwide, the Red Cross responds to a disaster every 8 minutes. And a lot of people understand the risk of a home fire, but don't really think that it can happen to them. If there's one thing that I've learned through the Red Cross, it's that fires don't discriminate. In Carter County, we supported 26 families last year recovering from a single family fire. But that's possible through a partnership with the fire department, 911 dispatch, and emergency management agencies. Anytime there's a fire, the fire department calls us and our volunteer team is there immediately in 2 hours to provide families immediate life-sustaining needs. A lot of times that's putting people in a hotel, shelter for a few nights, taking care of their immediate food, clothing, and hygiene needs, as well as providing their medication needs. So if there's a family who has a member who's lost their insulin or a child who needed a nebulizer, we're able to go in and help them get that replaced. And our services don't stop there with Home Fire Campaign. We understand that this is often the most difficult moments of people's lives. There's a huge emotional toll, and we provide emergency counseling as well as spiritual counseling for people, as well as there's a huge financial toll. People just lost everything they worked for in a matter of an hour, and they could do nothing but sit idly by and watch. So each of our fire clients is assigned a volunteer caseworker who helps them develop their individual recovery plans, serving as an ally, a financial advisor, a community advocate, and a friend, to know that somebody's going to be there with them. They start making those phone calls between 24 and 72 hours after the fire, and we stay with families until they say that they don't need us anymore.
Okay.
And if there's in times of fire fatalities or serious injury, the Red Cross is there to provide additional services such as funeral expenses for families. And we appreciate the continued partnership. Last year, we were able to provide over $15,000 in immediate assistance, that on-site debit card assistance to families in Carter County. And that's possible largely in part of your partnership with us.
All right, well, we thank you for providing that service to those families in need, and certainly in Carter County and all others as well. It actually looks like your request has gone down. That's what I'm seeing from.
Yeah, I was surprised. So I was surprised to see that. Let me. So I'm a pretty new staff member. This is my first ever allocations meeting.
Yeah.
But I wasn't showing that we had an allocation approved last year for Carter County. So I'm interested in learning what happened there. If there's somebody I could talk to maybe after the meeting. We had about a 3 or 4 month transition where there was not a director on staff. So I'm wondering if the approval came in during that transition period.
I'm not sure, no, Brad, but I guess, go ahead.
That would have been approved last July.
Last July. Okay, so who would I need to follow up with about that?
Yeah, that's Brad Burke you're speaking with right now. He's our finance director for the county.
Okay. Hi, Brad. I've got your contact information for the City of Elizabethton request. So is it okay if I follow up with you tomorrow?
Sure.
Thank you so much.
And does anyone have any questions for Ms. Carbajal there from the committee? Yeah, 1 second. We got one from Willie Campbell. He's sitting here with us.
Can I ask you this question? If I write you out a $2,000 check, do I make it specifically to Carter County, and does it stay in Carter County?
So we do allow designations on financial gifts. The money that we receive from Carter County stays in Carter County. And if you look at our budget, we actually had to get $37,000, almost $38,000 from other areas just to support the financial needs for Carter County last year. So to answer your question, yes. For those who don't leave it designated, it goes wherever it's needed most. Oftentimes, counties like Carter and some of our rural counties are the recipients of those undesignated gifts, but you can specifically say it stays here, it stays local, and we will honor that request.
Appreciate you. Do a good job.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, well, welcome to your new position. Congratulations on that. And you can get with Brad and discuss that further if you need to, but I think we're no further questions from our group. And once again, thanks for your help in our community and our citizens.
Sure thing. Thank you guys so much for the time and the consideration. Looking forward to really getting in and getting to know you all.
All right. Thanks a lot. How's everybody doing? Need a quick break real quick, or? Yeah, let's take about 5 minutes real fast, and we'll try to hurry back real quick.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, who's that?
This is Kathy Dooley with the Senior Center. Is there any way I could get on next? I've just had a family emergency.
Well, how about if nobody's left, we can just go right now if that's okay.
If you don't mind, I have just had an emergency, and unfortunately I'm gonna have to leave. Okay. But anyway, this is Kathy Dooley. Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
Okay, I'm trying to hold it together here, but I'm with the Elizabethton Senior Center.
Well, ma'am, we can discuss.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Okay.
It's something we've been expecting. My sister has passed away, but we have been expecting
Sorry to hear
it.
that.
So, but I just heard from my brother, so I need to go. But anyway, I'll tell you briefly about our senior center. And you know, sitting here listening to all these people talking, it's just very overwhelming, isn't it?
Sure is.
But anyway, our agency provides services for Carter County residents that are over the age of 60, as most of you know. And last year we served 581 people. An average attendance at our center is 75 a day, and the majority is 79 and older. Our services include daily lunch, transportation to and from our center, and shopping twice a week, educational programs and health screenings, elder abuse awareness, crime prevention, nutrition, volunteer opportunities, and activities with children in the community, such as reading programs, hosting groups from the elementary schools, and this year we started a pen pal program with the second graders at Harold McCormick. That was new, and it's been a lot of fun. And increasing interest is in physical fitness, so we provide classes in yoga with a certified instructor, aerobics, line dancing, dancercise, and we have a well-equipped fitness room that's used daily by approximately 40 people. We've been offering evidence-based healthy aging workshops on living with chronic conditions, diabetes, surviving cancer, and Walk with Ease for arthritis. We also started a support group this year for grandparents raising grandchildren, partnering with the Carter County Extension Agency, the Area Agency on Aging and Disability, and the Public Library. We provide recreational activities such as bingo, arts and crafts, billiards, bowling, card games, special activities for the holidays. Last year, we distributed 80 Christmas treat bags of fruit and candy, and 40 homebound gifts were delivered. We served our annual Thanksgiving lunch to 75 people, and each year we have a free breakfast for veterans to honor them on Veterans Day. We also have volunteer opportunities here at our center, and volunteers help us with daily activities, fundraisers, and deliver homebound meals. If we can't help someone with a question, the staff is trained and work with other agencies to know how to provide information on resources they need. We help with completing applications for energy assistance and food stamps. The funding sources for us are from the City of Elizabethton, Carter County, Area Agency on Aging and Disability, and United Way. All other funding is provided by membership dues, donations, and fundraisers at our center. During the COVID closings, our staff has continued coming in daily, and we've sanitized our building, called members to see if they need anything or just want to talk. Volunteers have not missed a single day in delivering homebound meals. The meals are provided by First Tennessee Human Resource Agency. We pack them in containers and volunteers pick them up outside. We provide gloves and advise them not to go inside homes. They deliver 350 hot meals every week in Carter County, and that includes Roan Mountain. We're also providing 15 people that usually eat at our center with five frozen meals each week, and this is going to increase as we continue to be closed in May. They pick them up outside or we deliver them. We also provide emergency meals to homebound to make sure they have food in their home at all times. An agency that's located in our building called Options provides homebound services. The case manager serves 132 regular clients. During the pandemic, they have provided in Carter County 23 people for restaurant meals, 14 have been added to Human Resource Agency temporary meals, and that's just so far, 15 regular outreach deliveries, and 4 emergency food deliveries. Older adults have problems with isolation, malnutrition, depression, victims of scams, abused physically, emotionally, and financially. Those that attend a senior center regularly live a healthier lifestyle, have less depression, and are less likely to get involved with scams or be a victim of elder abuse. We empower our seniors with education, resources, and a place to find fellowship, as well as improve their health and well-being. The populations of our community is currently 25% that are over the age of 60, and this is increasing, and so is the need for our services. Our community is responsible for care and well-being of their children, elderly, disabled, and those in crisis. It is more cost-effective and efficient to provide a percentage of the budget of these agencies to help provide these services than for you to try to provide them through county offices, which really would not be possible. I speak for all outside agencies, not just the senior center. All of us work together in making referrals and networking to provide a high level of services in Carter County. We're requesting $25,000 this year from Carter County, and that is an increase of $5,000. We, like everyone else, are very concerned about fundraising in the coming year. We had to cancel a breakfast buffet in April, which is one of our biggest each year with ETSU Bluegrass performing. Breakfast buffets and apple butter are our primary fundraiser, and it is looking bleak for either of these in the immediate future. So we're going to be trying to come up with some new ideas for fundraising. I know every agency is facing problems, and we'll be turning to you for help. I'm asking for, I'm trying to keep our costs down, and I'm not asking for large increases from the county. Last year, we did receive $20,000, which was 17% of our total budget. This year, we're requesting $25,000, which is 20% of our budget. So I would just appreciate your consideration of our request, and we appreciate your continued support of our center.
Yes, ma'am. It's a very active center, it sounds like.
Well, we have been. You know, it's a little upsetting, these closings. We do worry about our seniors, you know, the isolation and the, you know, concern about food. And we are doing the best we can, but we have been very active and had a lot of programs going on here. So hopefully we can get started back. We're mandated right now to be closed through May. So we're hoping to get started back in June, but you know, it's just very unsure right now, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is, and we hope things work out as soon as possible for you guys, because we know you do support our seniors, and you know.
Thank you. We're still trying to do it. Like I said, we're coming in every day and making calls and trying to get at least food out, and talking to people about any problems they're having with isolation or what their needs are. So we're doing our best with that.
Yes,
Are there any questions about what we do, or?
Has anybody, Travis got a question for you real quick. Travis Hill.
Oh, sure, that's fine. I'm not in a hurry.
Go ahead, Travis.
I can't hear him.
Might be muted, Travis. I'm not sure. They don't have you.
All right, can you hear me?
There you go.
Yes,
Yeah.
I hear you now.
Ms. Dula, what
Yes.
percentage of people would you say the members are outside the city limits compared to inside the city limits?
We're about 58 county and 42 city.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other
That was
questions?
58 county, you said, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. Further questions for Ms. Dula?
Thank you all for your consideration. Thank you for letting me jump in line like that. I apologize, but I know you understand.
Oh, yeah, well, you don't have to apologize to us we hope everything is okay, and I'm sorry for your loss on.
Thank you so much.
Mentioned, and you go take care of your business, and we'll do the best to help you out.
I know you will, and thank you all so much. I really do appreciate you. Bye-bye.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome. And with that, we'll take that 5 minutes if we can. We'll make it quick. I know we've got, looks like about 10 or so left. But we've got First Tennessee Human Resource Agency will be up next, and the RSVP, Retired Senior Volunteer Program, and then the library is to follow. So just a quick 5-minute break, and we'll be back in action.